Welcome to Flourish. I'm Diane Planidin, and you're in the right place if you're ready to create an inspired life. And we do so by working on our own personal development so we can be strong role models for those we love and mentor and have a strong mindset for ourselves. Today, I wanted to talk about a little bit about judgment and decision making. If you are following along in my Queen's University journey, you may have already heard this, but for those of you who are just like listening to the little positive vibe every week I try to put out in the universe, I wanted to share the system two way of decision making. Now, it doesn't really have to sound so technical, but literally, the system one is our intuition and our spontaneity, and somehow how our emotions can make decisions for us, right? In this crazy fast world we live in these days, sometimes it's difficult to just sit back, take a moment, and methodically think about the next step in decision making. So in 2013, Bazerman and Moore did a study on System 2 to get away from those emotions and our instinct per se, and just let it settle down, like, in the tummy, and think about these things, right? So they give an example of, choosing a school to go to. So here are the 6 steps that you should take to make a rational decision. Number 1, define the problem. They give the example of selecting the right graduate program. Maybe your problem could be, should I buy a house? Should I buy a new vehicle? I need to invest in this in order to move forward. Whatever your situation is, what is the problem? Define that problem. Number 2, identify the criteria necessary to judge the multiple options. So, in this case of looking for a university to go to, what's the location? Is it prestigious? Does it have good faculty? What are the reviews? You can take that same methodology in purchasing a car. Is it fuel efficient? What is the difference between electrical and a fuel-based car or a hybrid vehicle? Do I need one for 2 passengers, 6 passengers? What are the safety issues? That type of thing. Number 3, weigh the criteria. So rank them in terms of importance to you. So what's more important? A prestigious school that's more expensive, or a more affordable school that's going to get you the credentials? What's the location? Same thing with a vehicle. What's the fuel efficiency? Do I really need a Hummer? Or do I need a van? Or do I need a Prius? Or do I need an electric vehicle? That type of thing. Number 4, generate alternatives. So in the school example, maybe you apply to your top 10. Apply to all of them. Because once you've been accepted to all 10 of them, or maybe 5 of them, or maybe 2, you'll be better prepared to make that decision on which one you're going to choose to go to. And take that car for a test drive. Maybe you don't like how it feels. Maybe you don't like the interior. Maybe once you've test driven a few vehicles, you're able to decide better on what you actually need. Take your time, right? Have some alternatives. And number 5, rate each alternative on each criterion. So they say rate each school on each criteria that you identified. So if you applied to 10 prestigious schools with excellent faculty, but some have better locations than other, you've already made that decision in advance. So now you're able to rate each alternative on the criteria. So maybe you test drive that vehicle and then you say, oh, wait a minute, the fuel efficiency is not what I thought. It's going to cost me more to drive this vehicle because I have to drive 20 kilometers, 20 miles each way to work, whatever it might be. So then you're able to step back and rethink things. And then finally, compute the optimal decision. Acting rationally would require that you follow these 6 steps in a fully rational manner. So you basically, by the time you get to step 6, compute the optimal decision. You're able to make a logical decision on which school is best for you based on the criteria you have set out and your long-term objectives, similar to buying a vehicle. And I actually bought a vehicle last summer myself, actually, yeah, it's about a year ago now. And I took my time because I wanted to be able to decide what is best for me, to buy a vehicle, to lease a vehicle, to have a smaller vehicle, to have a fuel efficient vehicle. Should I get an electric vehicle? And because I made that list ahead of time, I was able to make a logical decision, and I was able to be happy with my decision in the long run and not regret this decision I made. So I really like this 6-step decision making process because I think you can apply it to a lot of things, but it takes time. And I really do like the fact that they say acting rationally would require that you follow these 6 steps in a fully rational manner. So you have to think through important decisions, and maybe a vehicle is not that big a deal, depending on, your situation, but maybe buying a house is. That's the most money you'll ever spend, right? So not only do you have to think about the location of the house, what you need in a home, you have to think about the mortgage, the rates, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Really let it digest, because I know a lot of people these days are making rash decisions when it comes to home buying, and they're putting in offers, unconditional, what the heck, not subject to anything. And that's a lot of money you're playing with. And I don't know if you would gamble that amount of money in Vegas, but my point is, sit down, make a list, make it methodical, think about the big pictures, think about the steps you have to take. And I'm guilty of it just as much as anyone else, sometimes making emotional decisions. And that really happened to me when I was pregnant. Oh, emotional train wreck, right? So these little lists help. And I hope that helps you, because if you can sit back and not make spontaneous purchases, and not really worry about being regretful for a decision you made, try this little technique, try the 6 steps. These are scientists that have proven this theory, and I really like it, so I wanted to share it with the universe. Because if you are approaching your life a little bit more methodically, if you are approaching decision making without emotions, without peer influence, without worrying about keeping up with whatever society thinks you should be doing, then you can feel more at ease and more relaxed, and you will live a more inspired life. Well, if you like the show, share it with somebody you know. And hey, try and leave a review, maybe a comment. What works for you? Let's share it with the universe. Let's use this World Wide Web to spread the message, because we all deserve to live more abundant. You deserve to reach your dreams. You deserve to reach your highest potential, because we're all here for a reason, right? I will see you in the next episode.